Good day, ladies. Just dropping in to have a chat, to express something that was on my mind. And this is coming from a dream that I had last night. And dreams are very informative. You know, they can let you know about what's going to, maybe it depends on where you are mentally. Some people don't have dreams and they say that's due to stupidity. Like if you don't have any thoughts, you don't dream. Because there's no activity in your brain, I guess. So I guess everybody's experience with the dreams are different. But pay attention to mine because they have seemed to come to pass. I have a lot of deja vu, and this one was about something of the past. Something of the past. Somebody of the past had came back and was trying to reignite passion everyone's had for one another. And I remember saying, I loved you and I loved you, but I don't feel the same anymore. And he gave me the cold shoulder and walked away. And I'm like, you're gonna be mean and rude just because I don't want that type of relationship with you anymore. And when I woke up, I had to understand why I would have that dream. So long distance relationships are extremely difficult because you have to really trust that the other person is doing you right. The other person is keeping you in mind. The other person is is working as hard as you to unite them, and it gets extremely lonely. And if you see your other person going on dates, you might want to also go on dates or whatever the case may be. You want to experience love, or you want to pour into somebody. You want to be poured into. But when you don't know why they're doing what they're doing, especially if it's a Muslim man where he was already in the relationship he met, he may be doing that as like a send off. You know, you would hear men give advice where it's like give advice to other men saying that you can't treat a woman like crap so that she can leave because you're setting a bad precedent. So you have to treat her with kindness. You have to treat her as if you know when you once loved her. You have to treat her the same way and let her go handsomely. You have to let her go with kindness. So you don't know why they're doing what they're doing, especially if they was in a relationship before you met. And it can get really lonely, and some people may resort to self-sabotage, especially if it's a real relationship, something meaningful. You want to cherish that and steward over the relationship that you've built. Really speaking to myself and the thoughts that I'm going through right now, because I was considering going on dates and exploring other relationships. You're opening up somebody else's heart. You're you're entertaining somebody else's emotions. You're entertaining the idea of a new relationship. Like, what if that person falls in love with you? What if they actually start to develop feelings for you, but you already have intentions of being with somebody else? You're bringing somebody else's feelings into it, and that's not fair. You know. Then on top of that, you're dividing your attention. You could be focusing on the relationship at hand, but you're choosing to divide your love, to spread yourself thin. You can incorporate the law of focus to your relationship. And I was thinking about this. This is why I stopped and I had to record this thought. You can incorporate the law of focus in your relationship. And the law of focus is when you focus on one thing and you give your attention to one thing, it magnifies, it intensifies your it optimizes the outcome. They say in the law of focus, they give an example of a magnifying glass, and when you use the sun to burn a hole in a piece of paper, and focus, the law of focus is like keeping your hand steady so that you can actually in paper. But when you scatter your focus, when your focus is divided, it's like moving your hand and shaking your hand across the paper. You will never be able to burn a hole in that paper. You'll never be able to make a mark. You'll never be able to make something meaningful, or burn a blaze a trail if your focus is scattered. You worrying yourself being entertaining other relationships is like spinning out the fire that you yourself ignited. How are you supposed to because love is like a campfire. You're supposed to continuously feed it in order for it to stay lit. But if you try to build a fire somewhere else and you build all these, and you're putting all your wood and your kindling, you put it in a different fire, then the fire that you initially had is gonna wear out and start turning into what's it called, kindle, when it's like barely a fire, but it's still the wood's still burning, versus just putting all your attention to one fire and feeding that fire and nurturing that love that you cultivated with that person, that you share with that person. And then when you entertain another relationship, then how is that person then going to feel about you? You have to consider other people's feelings when you enter into a relationship and you ignite love with somebody. It's not about you anymore. It's not just about your feelings anymore. You have to consider the other person's feelings, and move in a way that doesn't hurt things. Because if I was to go out on a date, imagine if I'm doubting the relationship, I fear that they're gonna walk away, and I entertain another relationship just because I want to feel loved, just because I want to be courted, just because I want to pour into a relationship, just because I want to pour into somebody, instead of having faith and being patient. I may hurt the person that I built a relationship with. And if they hurt, I'm going to hurt. And is it worth it? I think, is it really worth bringing pain to somebody else just for short term pleasure? is you. I thought I was gonna have this in the background while I tour. Is it worth it? Hurting somebody that you love just so that you can feel a slither, or is that what it's called? A slither of love, a slither of some type of emotion to get attention. You can put all that energy into that person. Imagine what will come from that if you didn't divide your attention, if you focused on that one relationship, if you focused on yourself, or if you focused on reminding yourself of each other, reminding yourself of what you have, reminding yourself of what you're building together. Reintroducing that conversation of where are we right now? Because both of you can develop and become new people and change and evolve and transcend. So you have to come to a point where it's like, okay, where are we? This is where I'm at right now. I'm different than where I was, like mentally. I'm different than where I was last week.
You got breakfast for us?
No, apologies. So that is all that I have to say for today. And I'll speak to you guys another time.